And then we get to the man, the GOAT, Novak Djokovic. And for those that don't know, there was the Roland Garros, the French Open tennis tournament that was happening last week. And he was able to defeat Ruud in straight sets to become not only the French Open standing champion of this year, but to become the number one Grand Slam championship winner in the Open era, which I hate. I get what they say in the Open era. I don't care if someone has done 56 championships in any era. They need to take that out, because right now you are looking at the bona fide, clear, undisputed, greatest tennis player of all time. I don't want to hear the argument outside of that. I hear you, Federer fans. I hear you. I hear you, Nadal fans. I hear you, but I ain't listening to you. I've been saying this for a while. So has Mitch, in fact, and I can speak with him here about the accomplishments of Novak Djokovic. 23 Grand Slams, multiple weeks at the number one spot. I mean, when I was first writing the agenda, I started looking at all the statistics. I really did. And I was going to name them all and go through the gamut of what he's done. And then I stopped myself and I said, number one, I don't really want to do that. You know, that wasn't the premise of the sports show, to have conversations that way. And then but the big reason I scaled it back is I said, why do I need to? There's no defending this point anymore. Because the fact of the matter is he was winning and has won these championships going through the other two GOATs. It's incredible. And them to a degree vice versa, with the exception of Roger Federer. And this is what I always said. Even when Roger Federer was atop of Nadal and Djokovic, I still had Djokovic and Nadal over top of him. Why? Because he didn't have the competition level. He spent the first few years winning Wimbledon and other tournaments, not having to go through those other opponents. And the moment they stepped on the scene, they all elevated each other's game. And when you think about it, Djokovic has had to take the number one spot competing against all of them. It's absolutely incredible. In my mind, there's no question that he is the greatest tennis player of all time. I don't know if we'll ever see this again. I actually don't know if we're ever going to see this landscape in tennis again, where you had the three heavy hitters at one single time. It is absolutely incredible. And if you think of the era in sports in general, Mitch and I talk about this all the time, how fortunate we are. Messi, Ronaldo, okay? Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. The list goes, like, we're talking incredible generational greats that happen to be at this time. But here's what I like the best out of everything. The thing that I like the best out of all of it is who was in the stands watching him do it. The Archangel, the salt of the earth, the man of the podcast. If you've been listening for years, you'll understand why. It's one Mr. Thomas Brady. Tom Brady in the stands, a GOAT watching the GOAT. That to me is so iconic, and I hope that someone was able to capture some kind of photo with both of them in it, of him watching. I don't know how they would do that, but I thought that was pretty neat. I thought it was very incredible. I like the fact that he was there. It's nice to see they have that exclusivity, that club going on. So congrats to Novak Djokovic. Congrats to the country and the peoples of Serbia. What a week you've had, in crowning a greatest of all time, in crowning a two-time MVP and now defending NBA champion who also won the finals MVP as well. And then, of course, in the only basketball market in Canada, having a head coach there in the Toronto Raptors. So congratulations, great week.
Freedom is so now I tell that girl get on my business. Do the sign joshing on the ground like Eric Costin. Sit around and
PGSW, we're Saved by the Bell by the Sports Show, playing every week. Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Sports Show TV, at Sports Show Podcast. Amy, do it. At Sports Show Podcast.